Hi, and welcome to another presentation from your business tutor, learning your way, anytime, anywhere. Ratio analysis plays an important role in assessing the financial performance of an organisation. However, as is always the case with financial figures, it is vital that the user understands not only the benefits of the information, but also any limitations that exist as well. This is why this presentation is so useful, as it will be looking at those issues in more detail. So what are we going to learn in this presentation? Well, first of all, we're going to find out about the benefits of ratio analysis, and then we're going on to explore the limitations of ratio analysis. Okay, let's get started with our first question, which is, what are the benefits of ratio analysis? Probably the best way to understand the benefits of ratio analysis is to look at some financial information. For example, and as many of you will already be aware, ratio analysis allows a business to compare its performance from year to year. This is important for two reasons. First, it allows a business to identify trends in its performance, which in this case is positive, as the profit for the year ratio has improved from 20% in year 1 to 24% in year 2 and then 26% in year 3. But also identifies where the business's financial strengths and weaknesses lie. For example, although the profit for the year ratio was good, it can be seen from this table that the current ratio indicates the business seems to have a liquidity problem, as the ratio has worsened in year 3 to the point that there is only 75 pence to pay every £1 due to others. In fact, this idea of comparison can be taken further, as ratio analysis allows a business to compare its performance against competitors in the same industry to see how they are doing. For example, as the table shows, ABC Limited is not performing as well as XYZ Limited in terms of profitability, as both the profit for the year and return on equity employed ratios are lower. However, in terms of efficiency, the opposite is true, as ABC Limited is doing better than XYZ Limited in terms of the rate of inventory turnover. What this all shows us is that, as well as allowing comparisons to be made, it also helps a business identify where its strengths and weaknesses are in relation to its competitors. This of course connects to another advantage, in that by having access to high quality financial information, a business will be in a better position to make informed decisions on how to improve in the future. For example, from earlier it was clear that this business needs to take action to improve its liquidity position, as the current ratio was weak. Better yet though, because ratios are so easy to compare across years, they can be used to set targets for future improvement. For example, over the next year, ABC Limited may set a target to improve its profit for the year ratio from 26% to 35%. And finally, using ratio analysis can make it easier to understand financial statements, as crucial information that managers should focus on is highlighted in a clear and straightforward way. Okay, let's now move on to look at the limitations of ratio analysis. One of the major drawbacks is that ratio analysis is based on raw figures. For example, in the table shown, it can be seen that the business in question has suffered from a huge fall in its profit for the year ratio in year 3, which obviously is of huge concern. However, if you based your opinion on this raw information alone, it would be a big mistake, in that it is absolutely vital to find out why the ratio fell. For example, if it is because huge amounts of money were spent on training staff to use new machinery, then the fall in the profit for the year ratio caused by spending money on staff training may not actually be as bad as first thought. This is especially the case if the fall in the ratio this year is expected to be followed by a huge rise next year, because training staff should result in increased productivity and profits. What this shows is that ratios do not tell you what is going on inside a business. You have to look behind the ratio to identify such issues. This therefore demonstrates a major limitation of ratios, and that is they do not tell you how internal factors such as staff training, motivation levels, product development, maintenance costs, or quality control procedures have on a business's financial performance. In fact, this issue also holds for external factors as well. For example, based on the table of information shown, it is clear that the return on equity employed ratio has been decimated in year 3, as it has fallen to 2%. Based on this alone, the owners of the business would be very concerned as the return they are earning on their investment has fallen dramatically. However, as before, basing a decision on this raw information alone would be a mistake. This is because looking behind the ratio to find out why it fell is what really matters. For example, if a huge recession hit the economy in year 3 and people started spending less, the business would expect its profits to fall and hence its return on equity employed ratio to reduce as well. What this demonstrates is another weakness of ratios, and that is they do not tell you how external factors such as recessions, changes in fashion, or competitors altering prices have on a business's financial performance. In fact, this issue of ratio analysis being based on raw figures can also be a problem when trying to compare organisations. This is because if organisations value inventory or deal with asset depreciation differently, this can affect how ratios are calculated. As such, it may look like one business is doing worse than another, but if they were both to value inventory or deal with asset depreciation in the same way, the opposite may actually be true. What this shows is that financial information can be manipulated, meaning comparing the ratios of organisations without taking this into account would be a mistake. In fact, even if two organisations use the same accounting rules, comparing ratios is still extremely difficult, especially if the organisations work in different industries. This is because what might be considered a good performance in one industry may be of concern in another. For example, in the furniture industry, a rate of inventory turnover of 5 may be fine. However, in the fresh fruit industry, where products have a short shelf life, this would be a major concern. And finally, ratio analysis suffers from the fact that it takes time for a business to prepare their financial statements. This means that when they are finally published, that the information contained within them is already out of date. As such, any ratio calculated using this historical information will only let a business know how it was performing in the past. Although this is of some value, clearly having more up-to-date information to base decisions on would be more worthwhile. Okay, so what did we learn in this presentation? Well, first of all, we found out about the benefits of ratio analysis, and then we went on to explore the limitations of ratio analysis. There is no doubt that ratio analysis has its place in assessing financial performance. However, to rely upon ratios alone would be a major mistake given the limitations outlined in this presentation. As such, the key is to examine a range of financial data so that the conclusions an organisation draws and the decisions they make are based on reliable information.